You are now listening to Out of the Blank.
His name is Mike Bridgett, but who is he and what does he do professionally?
Yes. Okay, so everybody, my name is Mike Bridget, as Robbie said, and most of the people know me as Big Mike, and the fans of our podcast that I'm on, that I co-host, they know me as J. Rod Statham. But my day-to-day job is I'm a lift operator at a food warehouse distribution center. I work in sub-zero temperatures, driving a forklift, hanging pallets of food in the air.
And you got to make sure you're not on your phone or you'll kill somebody.
Oh man, no phones, no you can't we got these reflective vests, gotta have your high vis on, man, gotta be safe, honking your horn, all that. Cause I mean these machines are just they're big machines and they go fast and you got ice on the floor, yeah, you got all kinds of stuff that can happen.
Now, what are some of the things you've kind of learned doing your job? You just kind of consider like you can just kind of go on autopilot in a way. Like for me, my job, I know what to do, so I just go on autopilot, put some headphones in, and I'm rocking out.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. You kind of zone out. You know your task, you know what you gotta do when you go in. You're like, all right, I have this amount of pallets to hang in the air. Let's just get it done. Yeah, that's all it is. You go in, you do your job, you get paid, go home.
I always find it funny. You see the Facebook video or something on like YouTube or some dude's driving a forklift and he carries too much and tries to raise it up and crashes
Oh
like half the
man,
stock. And then you're just watching it
yeah,
like, oh,
you can't help that because you're like, man, I've seen fucked up shit, so much fucked up shit happen in warehouses, because I've worked in them, off and on throughout my life. But at this place I worked at, I've seen uh, about a wall, probably about a good 100 yards long, of rafters full of product come crashing down, you know, and it's a fucking mess.
it's crazy because like people are like, how is it so hard to mess up on a forklift? I'm like, have you ever sat on a forklift? Have you ever sat
Yeah.
on any construction machines? It's like trying to work somebody else's shower. You don't know what
Oh
the
yeah.
hell you're doing.
You turn the knob the wrong way, you got hot ass water, or fucking too goddamn cold. You don't know what you're doing.
Yeah, it's
You
like
gotta know what you're doing.
like for me, like my experience as a kid, going over to my buddy's house and then finally using their shower. After I was there for like practically the summer, his dad was like, "All right, we got to show you how this thing works." So I thought it was like mine, turn it left to hot, right to cold. So I hop in, turn it all the way to the left, and immediately I am singed. I mean, to the point like where mine would be just lukewarm, his was burning hot. And I
Oh
had to
yeah.
run to the back of the shower. And I learned from my mistakes. Now I'm less trusting.
See, it's funny. The house I'm living in right now, the shower, the handle got messed up. So my brother thought he was Mr. Fix It. He came over and he decided to fix the shower. Well, when I went down there to use it, my uncle said, "Your brother messed it up." So what do you mean he messed it up? He said, "Well, the hot water is no longer hot. Cold is somewhere in there, and hot somewhere on the bottom where it should be off." I'm like, "Well, okay,
I'm not
we're
risking
playing." Yeah, we're playing a guessing game the entire time. That's how we're doing this. No problem.
when you jump into the shower not knowing what the temperature's like, just flipping it in there, you're basically playing cards with the devil. Like you're just
Oh, you are. You are.
you're a man with no rules and regulations.
Plus, on top of that, I can't really jump into the shower because I'm a very big guy. There really isn't too much jumping. Me and gravity, we got a real tight relationship. We're not breaking up anytime soon.
Well, that's a good thing because we got to try and be grounded as people. I think I feel like a lot of times we lose that grounding. We like to float a little too high to the clouds. You know what I mean?
It's funny because I was talking to this youngin the other day, and yeah, and what I mean by youngin, I'm 37 years old, so I'm talking about a person that's 23 years old, and I was impressed with the way this person was talking to me, and I looked at her and I said, you know what? Usually when somebody's talking to me your age, it's it's nonsense. You know what I mean? I don't even know how to explain it. It's
Dude, I get it all the time. I hear people say like, wow, you're pretty, wise for your age. I'm like, it's no benefit of my own. I've just heard so many stories and talked to so many people that I've educated myself and I guess diversing myself in their lives and their stories.
and you know what? That I gotta give a bravo to you for that, sir, because man, I've listened to a couple of your episodes, and man, the variety of guests that you have on here, it's a amazing thing. And you being 21, being able to do all that, man, that's some kudos to you, bro.
I mean, I definitely lose sleep, but it's like at the same time, it's like, what was I going to do with those hours of sleep anyway? Half the time
You're
you're laying
enjoying it.
down. Well, half the time you're laying down, you're watching your phone, just laying in bed, not getting any sleep. So I'm like, why don't I just do it in a benefit to not only me, but to others out there and just start podcasting with these like strangers. Like I've been up at 2 o'clock in the morning podcasting with people in Australia, podcasting with
Yeah.
people in UK. I'm like, screw it. I'm like, I'll sleep when I'm dead. Okay.
Get it in, young sir. Get it in. That's when I started doing podcasting, it was crazy. I ended up getting into it because I was going through a nasty divorce, and it was just a rough place where I was in, and I really didn't have an outlet. I had just so much going on, and my mind was really like bouncing around from one place to another, just trying to put things together and try to get things in order in some kind of order to get my feet back running. And my friend Julian, he's the guy that is on the co-host the show. He hit me up and said, "Hey man, I got a buddy named Mason. We're gonna do a podcast. Da da da. You should come on, try it out." Man, okay, man. I'll see what's going on. And I got on this joint, and man, I started and really enjoying the fuck out of life on some real shit because I didn't know people. Like you don't realize people listen to you. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't really sink in until somebody says, "Yo, man, I checked you out, and I thought about a lot of stuff you said," and you start having conversations with people. Like I've gotten back into my rhythm of being a social bug. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like it's been a good thing.
Well, we all feel like, it kind of hits down to what we all kind of the underlying factor we all think of is when, you're afraid to kind of be who you want to be because someone's going to judge you. So it's easy to be
Exactly.
comfortable. And nowadays it's so easily able to be offended by something like
Oh my
a
God, people are
joke
so
gets taken
soft.
down the wrong way. I mean,
Yes.
they're soft for a reason because there's all these crazy things happening. And I just chalk up to the example like we're not processing information. We're not dealing with stress anymore. We're so disconnected from people, even though, social media is such a big influence in connecting people from around the world. It's not
True.
it's not real connectivity. Me and you sitting down, let's say at a park or something and having this conversation would impact us in such a different way than just
Oh
doing it.
yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. Like I told a buddy of mine, I went on this vacation, and I was down in, what was I? Outer Banks. Yeah, I usually don't do the beach, but I went down to the beach, and the last day I was there, I went to go meditate on the beach early that morning, and I'm out there, man, and I'm in the zone. I'm like, I'm deep in meditation. I hear like little scurrying, coming, and I happen to look up, and it's this little old dude, man. I mean, this guy had to be every bit of like late late 70s, had to be his late 70s. And he looks up at me. He said, "Hey, fella," he said, "You enjoying the sunset or sunrise?" I said, "Yes, sir. I'm getting it in this morning." He said, "Well, man, you have yourself a blessed day." And I turned around and looked at him. I said, "Man, I don't know what it is, but I'm so happy I met you today. I have no idea why, but thank you for saying hi this morning."
I can tell you the answer to that. It's because he wasn't an asshole.
You know what? Yeah, yeah.
How many
Like it was,
times do you have a conversation with someone and they immediately start complaining about something?
and that's the thing. Here's the thing: what I get about the complaining, like I understand you complaining, and I understand it's bothering you and it's getting on your nerves. But now that you got that out your system of the complaining, what do you do now? Like, are you moving forward with anything? Are you making any steps towards a goal here? Like, are you gonna call me tomorrow and bitch about it again? You know what I mean?
Well, see, the problem is like I link social media to the biggest problem because we look for acceptance somewhere. We want to be heard. Okay. So when you make a Facebook post complaining about your day or you didn't get your Starbucks Frappuccino, when people start liking it, maybe commenting on it, it makes you feel that acceptance, that false
That
connectivity.
somebody else understands what I'm going through at the moment.
Yeah, so 100 people can like your status that you are complaining about losing something, and then you'll feel that acceptance. You'll feel like you were heard, but it's temporary. See, then it's going to be 101, then it's going to be 102, then it's going to be
Yep.
103. Then eventually you're going to get to this point where you're like, I need millions of people to hear me out. And you get really, really offended if it's just under a million by one person. So that's the false connectivity. You can get that same glorification, that same feeling of talking to someone, and it lasts 1,000 times longer and feels 100 times better when you just sit down with someone that you're close to and have a one-on-one talk.
Oh, bruh. Yeah, absolutely. Like I got a homegirl, man. This is my rider, man. She's the only woman under the sun that knows absolutely everything about me, man. I can hit her up anytime. We sit down, man. We chop it up, and we forget that we're even sitting here talking, bro. We'll look up like, shit, we've been out here for fucking 5 hours. Son of a bitch, what the fuck did we just do? Damn it. We got to go to sleep eventually. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
but for now we're having good conversation.
And that
Like
shit is fucking great because
it's
it's therapeutic.
well, it's crazy the fact that we look at conversation, just saying that, someone hears it and they immediately think of cavemen sitting in a cave trying to start a fire. Like, what do you mean conversation? I'm like, do you ever just sit and talk anymore? And people are like, why the fuck would I do that? Why
Yeah,
would I?
yeah.
Why would
Like
I? Netflix is so much better.
when I have my kids here, man, we sit down and we fucking at the table when we're eating. That's where we eat our breakfast, our lunch, our dinner. We're at the table. There's no phones, there's no tablets, nothing. It's just us and we're kicking it. We chopping it up. You know what I mean? Because I'm like, you got to understand, this is how you're supposed to interact, ladies and gentlemen, right here. You
And it's
know?
sadly we link to it because now it's just the way for us to kind of get together and hang out with our friends is when we feel like we're required to create an episode to podcast. We're required, it's once you walk into the door from work, you just want to go to bed, even if you had plans before, unless you're going to a bar or you have some event that you have to go to. Most of the time, you're just like, sorry, man, I don't feel like hanging out tonight. And then you send them that text. Next thing you know, that keeps happening where you start losing the people that are supposed to be connected into your life.
Yeah, because well, and the crazy part about that is then you got other things that happen as they get older. You know, you got people having children, getting married, you know, moving, different jobs. You know, it's a whole bunch of things that happen. You pretty much are exhausted when you get home. You know, you're right about that. And it's like, okay, you know what? I'll holler at you later. Maybe I'll get at you this week or this week. I'll get at you next month. Hey man, what's Merry Christmas? You know what I mean?
Yeah, like next thing you know, you haven't seen him in a couple of years. You're like, where's Billy at? Oh, Billy died like 6 years ago, man. Like, what?
Damn, it's been that fucking long.
I've been sending him holiday cards and shit. You telling me that's all like all that money's a waste?
Who the fuck's been getting this shit then? Don't they return the sender?
Nah, they just let it pile up, like shove it under his doormat or something. Some dude just
There you go.
stole his identity.
Somebody's gonna get paid one day.
It's crazy because like the concept of your podcast is like just a bunch of friends hanging out. Like, do you guys try and focus on anything specific? Like, you guys?
Nah, man, we really just get together and have a good time. It's really like it's just we get it's just kicking it, and making fun of the mundane. Got to break up the everybody is so negative so much, you know? And it's always, fuck you, nah, fuck you, oh, you're wrong, no, you're wrong, I'm right. Look, we can all talk and joke about stuff and still have a conversation at the same time. You know, you can agree to disagree and still have fun. You know, it's all lighthearted shit. You know, we just come up with random stuff. We'll have a topic, we just get on and just go with it.
What types of stuff do you find that you've learned through your podcasting? I guess you would say like funny stuff, anything that kind of sparked your interest, made you want to research a little bit more.
It was, you know what, really diving into the world of podcasting. Like, it amazed me at how many different podcasts are, how many people really do this, you know, and how broad of a spectrum and how much you can really cover. Like, when I first got on with the Mason and Friends show, it was just handheld mics, and they were telling me, Mason would tell me, hey, somebody downloaded an episode in like Morocco or somewhere in India. I'm like, really? He would pull up I guess he called the schematics, and you would see it. I'm like, it's cool that somebody out there is listening to us. That's actually awesome. I wonder how many more people we can actually touch with stuff like this. Just random-ish. Let's see what happens. And it just kept building and building and snowballing and snowballing. I'm like, yo, I'm really enjoying this. Like, I'm having a blast being able to just talk shit and just let loose and have fun with it. You know what I mean?
There's a
Like,
benefit
really,
to it for real. Like
yeah.
the way to just feel like even if it doesn't get a lot of views, even if it doesn't get listens, you
That's
still
the
had
thing.
a good conversation. You still got something out of it. You felt that rush that you would get if you hung out with your friends. It just shot.
But that's what it is. That's exactly. It's a real freedom of expression, real freedom of speech right there. You know what I mean? Like, you actually have I can say whatever the fuck I want to say, and if you don't like it, if you do like it, you can listen. If you don't like it, don't listen. That is your choice of the whole thing. You have the right to choose that. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
There's
I'm gonna take.
billions of people out there.
Yeah, we all have questions. We all have answers. So I'm going to take it this way with it. I'm going to turn it into a little bit of your show. Okay, here we go. Let's talk about Oreos. Like, why the hell are there so many different Oreo flavors?
That shit's fucking ridiculous.
They
I
come
have
out
no.
with like 10 a fucking year, and they're all like some stuff you would not think would go good together.
Fuck no. I guarantee there's a soy sauce fucking Oreo out there. I can probably put money on it. They got soy sauce.
There's one in Japan that's made of wasabi. So
Yeah, so you got to have soy sauce somewhere in the mix.
I'm trying.
I guarantee there's a sriracha, probably habanero.
Oh my
Like
God.
it's an Oreo. It's just cream and chocolate. That's all you need.
It's like, what happened to the original? Oreos are a knockoff of some other bland ass cookie. I'm like, if you think about it, like, remember, I think people cut kind of the corners to get to the ending. They just want the prize. They don't want to have to deal with the struggle of getting there. And my example for that is it's when they made the double stuffed Oreos, then eventually they gave up and they just gave you they just sold the cream straight up, that cream inside. Like, no, you had to deal with the bland ass cookie. Like, the kids in kindergarten that you hated, the ones that would just tear apart the cookie, lick the cream, and put the little cookies off to the side. You're like, what are you doing?
Like, man, that goes with it, man. Like, you dip it in the milk, something, man. You just don't leave it there.
It's like taking a fortune cookie and just breaking it open and then just taking the fortune out.
Yeah, you're supposed to eat the fucking cookie.
You're supposed to take that risk. You're supposed to know that your senses, everything is about to be bland as hell for 5 minutes, but you're going to get Chinese wisdom inside of it.
Bam. See, you understand that shit. It's like the cereal. You know how many different kinds of fucking Lucky Charms and shit is coming out now? Like, it's crazy. Even Twinkies are doing it. Twinkie got fucking pumpkin spice something. They had some new shit out the other day. I saw. I was like, this is getting crazy. It reminds me of that scene in fucking Next Friday when Day Day's talking about Baby D, about how she knows all the new candies coming out, the new cookies with the glitter in it and shit.
Dude, I'm telling you, man, there's just too much stuff. Like, everyone, it just keeps making variants of stuff instead of creating original concepts anymore.
And that shit is nonsense, bro. Because I'm okay. It's like take the Taco Bell. How they keep adding shit to a taco and making different things. Tacos.
I just want a taco. I don't want to have
That's it.
I want to know when I go to Taco Bell that I'm either high at 2:00 in the morning or I just got back from a bar. That's all I want. I want you to deal with me trying to figure out what the hell the menu is because you got so many damn options. Just give me a taco. Let me get on with my day. Like,
why do I have a shredded gordita double stuff? What is a taco? What is that? Just a plain taco. Taco crunchy.
If you go to a fast food place and you sit there and take 20 minutes to order, there's something wrong. Like, it's called fast food for a reason. Like, I would hate to be working at a Taco Bell. Someone just sitting there like, can I get that with a mix of this? I'm like, I'm just going to give you a taco because that's what you want anyway. You came to Taco Bell. It's in the name.
That's all we got right now. That's all we have. Nothing else. All we have is tacos.
So what's your favorite fast food?
Yo, that's a good one right there, brother, because I really don't fuck with too much fast, but if I did, it'd be Chick-fil-A.
Okay. Well, hold on. When it comes to chicken, if you were going to pick a place to get chicken, where would you get chicken? Fried
Oh
chicken.
man.
Fried chicken.
Oh shit. Right now it'd be the Rofo, Royal Farms. I
Dude,
go there.
I'm telling you, man, I had a bad experience with Royal Farms.
Oh man, you probably got some greasy chicken, man. Too greasy.
No, I didn't get any chicken.
What? Hold on, they was out of chicken
They was out of chicken.
at the fucking Rofo. Well,
I
you know
went
what? I'm not even gonna be surprised at that because Rofo chicken bang.
I went 4 years ago when last time I got Royal Farms, and I went in there, and this one that we have near my town is complete trash. And I walked in
Oh
there like the
damn.
employees don't give a shit. And I was like, "Can I get some chicken?" I got ordered a chicken tender meal. I paid for it. Then all they give me was a box of fries. I'm like, "What is this?" She goes,
Oh fuck
"I don't
no.
feel like putting on any more chicken." I'm like, "It's freaking 2
Hold up.
p.m. It's not one
You're
o'clock in the
Rofo.
morning. Like it's 2 p.m. You're going to put more chicken on later." Yeah, well, I'm not doing it right now. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm only going to pay for the French fries then. I'm not paying for the chicken tender meal.
Man, I wouldn't have paid for shit.
Dude, I was
No.
so pissed. I was like, you better throw some biscuits in there or something.
Damn.
I almost got arrested out of Royal Farms too.
Wow, man. Royal Farms is not your place then, brother.
It's not. Me and my buddy got a chicken tender meal on a different day when they actually had chicken out. And we went into the back parking lot and sat there in his car eating fried chicken. So my buddy had a Mustang at the time, had a police interceptor badge as a joke on the back of it. Next thing I know, there's like a cop in the distance, and I get out of the car and kind of dust the greasy crumbs off my lap, like that pity,
Yeah.
that pity kind of wash it over. And a cop pulled up right behind my buddy while we were parked and then told me, like, put my hands up in the air. I'm like, for what? And I just looked over at him. He's like, you got any drugs in the car? I'm like,
He thought you was brushing off shit off your lap.
yeah, he thought I stored, like, I put the container back in the car and then dusted myself off. And he was like, where'd you put the drugs? I was like, what drugs? And he was like, it was me trying to explain to him the actual thing that happened. I honestly should have said, yes, I was hiding drugs. Just take me to
You
jail.
see, you got profiled as a youngin'.
I look such like a fucking idiot telling him I was dusting fried chicken crumbs off my lap.
Yo, what'd he say to that? Like, yo, man, do you want a biscuit? I mean, I got a biscuit.
He searched my buddy's car for 5 minutes. My buddy's like, yeah, go ahead. There's no drugs in the car. It's like,
oh shit, word, he really did? Like, man.
He sat there with a flashlight, looked all in the back seat, lift up my buddy's mats and everything. And then I was like, dude, the fried chicken bag with all of the stuff, all our crumbs and everything is right there. I got out of the car and dusted the crumbs off because my buddy was a clean freak with his Mustang, eating in the car. Then eventually we're just like, screw it. So every day after senior year, we would just go to Chick-fil-A and get the same order. We would get a spicy chicken sandwich with French fries, and we would get a chocolate milkshake. And we would just sit in the back parking lot after school and just chill and shoot the shit. And those are some of my favorite moments in life.
Hell yeah, man. Having that homie to kick it with, man, when you're young, just fucking great shit. Like, I like my circle that I have, man. Me and my friends, we've known each other for over 20 years, all of us. Our kids are, their kids or my kids, like they're all nieces and nephews. I'm uncle to everybody.
Keeping that closed group, dude. I'm telling you, man, like there's things you have in your memory where you might not remember what exactly was said, but you remember that bond that you had with that person.
You motherfucker right, man. It's fucking great because we all keep in touch with each other. It's funny that we're that tight because a recent friend of mine, he just recently, I'm very tight knit with the circle of people that I let in my life, right? And my man Bernie, I met him a few years back. Probably about maybe 5 years ago, and he was a different kind of dude when I met him. You know what I mean? It's like I wasn't used to a guy like him. Like, he's a very emotional guy every once in a while, and wasn't used to that coming from a guy standpoint. He was like, "Hey, man, come on through, man. Miss you, brother. Come on, holla at me." Like, man, I just saw you like 3 days ago. You know what I'm saying? Like, I wasn't used to that. But anyway, when I brought him into the group and I showed him everybody, like, yo, man, these are my people right here. These are my friends. This is my family. And he looked at me and said, "Hey, man, I got to ask you a question." He said, "So all of y'all known each other for 20 years or more, right?" I said, "Yeah." He goes, "Y'all never had any kind of beef, any problems?" I said, "Nah, man, like, we give each other hell all the time. Like, if somebody's fucking up, hey, man, what the fuck you doing? Like, get up off your ass. Like, this is bullshit. You know what I mean? Like, we don't sugarcoat shit to each other. We real, and that's how we keep our bond. Like we all genuine. This is all genuine love right here, man. And you part of that now. You know what I'm saying? And he was
Yeah,
like, "Holy shit, man, this is cool." You know? I'm
it's
like,
also
"Yeah."
like, I'm white, so but I have friends that are of different colors, and I'm like, it never took any amount of effort to try and break that barrier. We're best friends, like
Oh
like I
yeah, yeah.
go
Like
into his
man,
house, his family treats me like I'm one of their own. Like a
oh
lot of
yeah.
people chalk up to being racist and go like, oh, there's obviously race is a thing. I'm like, it is a thing, but we let it hold us back as people.
And that's the problem because people don't like embracing people's differences, and that's what. And it's not even embracing them. It's just saying, okay, I understand you do things differently than I do things. Okay, cool. That's what's up. You know, that's some
You
interesting
should
stuff.
look
I
at
didn't know that.
you should look at your differences as something to be happy about, that you're not the same
Exactly.
mundane person. You're
Because
something
god
different.
damn, we are. I'm sorry, we're one species, man. That's it. We're humans.
Yeah, but people look at like I chalk up to this example. The only race you should have on a census test should be I am a robot or I am not a robot, because that's the only true
That's
underlying
pretty.
factor we need to focus on.
That is pretty much it right there.
And
Because I'm like,
they
man,
detail it too much too. Like, are you white with Irish heritage from a Latin family? It's like, why is this a box to check?
yeah, none of it's in fucking port. None of it is.
I just
Because
want
I
to hit
mean,
other half the time.
the shit that amazes me is even the way that the it's just coming from having old heads telling me what they went through in life and all the stuff they've gone through and seeing how these young kids don't really have a grasp on things yet. I mean, you got to give people a chance to go through life and have some life experience. Things happen to them, but it's like it's just take the time and just learn something. You know what I mean? Just say, hey, that's some cool shit. Why do you do that? You know what I mean? Sometimes it's just kicking it. If you just kicking and have a conversation with a motherfucker, man, you know how much easier shit would be around this son of a bitch.
What's one thing that you have about yourself that's a little bit like it's strange to others? And I'll tell you mine.
Uh, it would probably be my dark humor because I'm a happy-go-lucky dude, but I can go dark with a lot of shit. I find some darkness very fucking hilarious to me. Like horror movies, they're comedies to me.
You say Final Destination 2 would be a comedy?
But yeah, yeah, yeah. Like the log truck and shit. Like
No, no, that scared the hell out of me. I will never drive
that
behind a log
that
truck
hold
for
on.
that
I
exact
won't
thing.
drive. Yes, I will not drive by a log truck. That bothers me because where I live at out here in the sticks, um, we got a log truck that comes. You know, there's a back road out here that you'll see a log truck on most of the time. I'm like, you know what? That shit could really happen, but I still find some stupid ass humor in it some kind of way. I'll laugh at the shit that happened in it.
I have a really weird one. Mine is like when I walk into a store, like a Walmart or something. I used to work at one and they used to put me in the candy aisle. So what I used to do is just I would squeeze the marshmallows in the package, and I do it with like Oreos. I do it and I just crush one of them and walk away. So every time I walk into a grocery store, like my buddies, they know where to find me because I'm usually in the candy aisle just crushing a
Crushes up.
cheese
Yeah,
or
that's
something.
fucked up. So I could have got a pack of fucking Oreos
Exactly.
somewhere out
That's what
there
my
in
mom
MD
says. My mom
that
goes,
fucking had that crush one in there that I was like, man, I'm trying to get out the back. You know, the one you got to get out that last little thing in the back and it's all crumpled the fuck up.
yeah,
Thank
but
you, sir.
you're gonna eat
I
it anyway.
appreciate
You're
that.
gonna
Yeah, you
eat it
fucking right on.
anyway. You're
I'll
going
probably
to.
throw it in a cup of milk. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. I'm like, if I break that one Reese's, my mom goes, imagine a little kid comes to the store with their mother and decides, like, I'm going to spend this little bit of money just on a Reese's for myself. I'm like, he gets one that's whole and he gets one that's broken up. He's going to fucking eat it anyway. It's chocolate and peanut butter.
Oh yeah, you're gonna tear the shit up. It's
I'm like,
Oreo.
but my buddy goes, why do you do that? I'm like, just take the time next time you go to the grocery store, grab a pack of marshmallows, like the giant ones, and crush it. Just one marshmallow. It's a sense of like popping bubble wrap. It's fucking, I can't explain it. It's the weirdest shit, but it's like, I do it. And they just released marshmallows with s'mores on the inside. So they have like chocolate pieces on the
Hold on.
inside. So
Dude, what now? That's a
there's,
new one. God damn, what the fuck is the world coming to?
they're literally the size of like I mean big stuffed marshmallows, like the giant ones, and they have a chocolate center into it. So when you crush it, it's like crushing a chocolate candy on the inside of the
So
marshmallow. It's
well,
fucking
hold on. If you heat the marshmallow up, you know, say you put it in the microwave, it's gonna expand and you got that chocolate in the middle. Like, would it
Exactly.
melt? Like, how would that'd be a gooey, that'd be kind of a nice gooey mess, maybe. I don't know how that would
Well, how
taste
do you
though.
cook your marshmallows? Do you when you have them over a fire, do you slowly wait for it to turn yellow, or you just do what I do and stick the sucker in there and then blow it out?
Oh, I'm gonna burn that fucker. You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying? Get it lit
exactly.
up.
Now
Yeah.
I had a great moment with my dad one time. So we were camping, and he always lightly toasts the marshmallow. It's like a brown yellow crisp. It takes about maybe 15 minutes. Okay. And he's talking trash like all you do is just stick it in the fire. You never actually enjoy it. He goes, I'm gonna show you how you really do it. So he's sitting there like rotating the stick every like minute. And I'm like just
Mm-hmm.
watching it. After 20 minutes, I already knew what I was going to do. He went to go, he's like, grabs it. He goes, look at that. That's perfect. I slapped it right out of his hands.
God damn.
I
That's a
was like,
fucked up. I would have slapped the shit out of you.
I
Like
was
I
like,
sit there and took the time and showed you this shit.
He looked at me like he lost the son. He was like,
he was about to smack the shit out you.
he was like, did you just do that? I was like, you deserved it because you sat there glorifying about how much your marshmallow was going to be delicious. And he was like, it was for you. I was like, I don't care. I don't care. I'm like, you know what I like to do? I grab a marshmallow out of the bag, pop one in my mouth. I'll eat it like that, or I'll stick it in the fire and Statue of Liberty it, and then I'll blow it out.
Uh-huh. And blow it out. And slap that fucker right on there and go to work.
Exactly. I'm like, first of all, whoever developed chocolate and peanut butter, that man's a genius. But whoever developed chocolate and marshmallow, that man has something headed for him.
All these fuckers was buzzed some kind of way.
I wonder what type of drug trip they had to be on just to explore that idea of putting melted marshmallow on a chocolate bar.
And it was probably just a fucking freak accident too, because he probably had a marshmallow laying around. It was probably one of them campfire moments. Just had a chocolate bar and marshmallow there, and it just happened to melt on each other. Like, damn it, I got it on here. I have to look at this shit.
Well, I mean, cornflakes was developed to prevent masturbation. So,
yo, I saw that shit. I think I posted that on my Instagram.
Harvey Kellogg, 1945, man, he developed it to prevent masturbation. I think it's crazy to hear like all these people are like, you got to try this fad diet. You got to try this diet. I'm like, you understand that works for you and that's not working for everybody.
Yeah, everybody got something different that works for them. I believe in just being healthy. I mean, I no bullshit. I was 400 pounds a few years back. I lost 100 pounds. Yes, God. Yes. Yeah, that was heavy. It was bad, man. But since then, lost 100 pounds. I still, I got a routine on working out, and I'm telling you, everything's been real good since I started podcasting. Everything started moving in a positive direction. Been having an outlet to let shit out. It's been cool. So, yeah, yeah.
I think it's crazy because we live in such a world where there's obviously the easiest option to get bad information as soon as you turn on the TV. But
it's terrible.
Weird, awesome things about like what we're creating, and it just goes completely under the carpet.
Yeah, because I stopped watching TV. I don't even watch TV anymore. I might watch some documentaries on Netflix or some movie. Like I just recently watched, what was it, Dave Chappelle's comedy. I enjoyed the hell out of that. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Like I've gotten away from TV. I started reading books again. It's been a good upswing this 2019. It's actually been great for me.
I think like a lot of people gave Dave Chappelle a lot of flack for his comedy special. Honestly, if he was white, that special would not have played. But we have this type of like what they call hate culture and this type of thing. And I look at it, I'm like, no, it's an underlying factor. We take things too accountable, and certain people can say certain things. Like, obviously, we let racism exist. But if you really want to look at who really gets picked on, Asian people. Come on now. Everyone cracks jokes on Asian people. It's because they let that shit slide under the carpet. They don't care.
It just brush it under like, oh man, you did serious about that. Cause man, I'm like, fuck, you're right about some of that shit. Cause I'll watch some shit and I'll see, I'm like, that is some racist shit right there. But nobody actually says nothing about that because it's too small, it's too minuscule in the eyes of the world. You know what I mean?
That's what it is. Chappelle literally did an Asian accent. He highlighted the fact that we all pick on Asian people, and They're like, well, they don't get upset by it. I'm like, no, they just
No,
know by the age of 35, they're going to own your ass in whatever job you're working. They're going to own
yeah,
those same businesses. They're going to be
they
set
got the
for life.
stocks. They got shit. They're passing down that generational wealth.
I'm like, we're not different, but we're not like race doesn't limit us on these things. It's the fact that we
No,
have our priorities set differently.
that's it. Because some people are moving their feet and some people aren't. And it's that simple. Either you want to know something or you want to get better at it, or you're just gonna sit there and wallow in it.
You know what? You put a picture on your Instagram. I want you to look at your phone screen or your tablet screen because you actually posted a picture of this. I don't know where I got these fucking blankets from. These little Mexican blankets. You see it?
Hold on, wait a minute, I'm going to my Instagram right now.
I know you
'Cause-
posted up a picture about it. Like, you ever have one of these draped on the back of your couch? Yeah, I do. I have one of these
yeah,
random blankets that are just sitting around right now.
yeah, that quilted joint, yeah.
Look at that. I got an orange one, and then across sitting in front of me, I got a green one. I have a blue one hanging on the wall over there. I got like 50 of them. I don't know where the hell I got them.
Wait a minute. Okay, you know what? They probably came from grandparents and parents.
No, that's what they say, but I keep finding them at thrift stores, and I'm like, what? Why do these just randomly pop in my house? They're like a little, like when you miss the sock out of the dryer, and you're like, why do I only have one sock?
Do you live with your parents?
I do live with one of my parents.
Okay, now does that parent go to the thrift shops and stuff like that?
No, she doesn't know where it comes from either.
Oh shit! Then y'all got poltergeist, man. You
We
might
just
got the house.
randomly keep finding. I want to know the poltergeist. That must be a nice poltergeist that just brings you blankets. I want you to stay warm.
Hey, that could be a sub though, bro. You got to. Yeah, you
It's
might want
Aunt
to check the
Jemima.
house.
It is Aunt Jemima.
Shit, that's who it is. That's bringing your shit. She bringing you the motherfucking blankets in.
Either that or it's Betsy Ross trying to craft me up some new.
Nah, that's some old knitting shit right there. She just looking out for y'all, man. Whoever it is, leave off some milk and cookies. You probably got
right milk and cookies like Santa Claus.
Nah. Do what was it? Rumpelstiltskin. That's who you got up in there. Wasn't that the fucker that used to make that shit that made some quilt out of straw or some shit?
I have no clue. I'm a little bit into the.
Oh, that's right. I keep forgetting. Fuck, you're a youngin. Rumpelstiltskin was way before your shit.
I love it how you say I'm a youngin, and then I say the same thing to a kid that's like 2 years behind me.
Oh no, you can't say it to a cat that's 2 years behind you, man.
You know what's crazy is when
you say you're just younger than me. You can't hit him with the youngin.
You remember when you're a kid and people like you used to be you just used to go, I'm going to be an adult one day. And then one day some person calls you sir in the store and you're like, when the fuck did that happen?
Bruh, no. Me and my homie, we call them old man moments because we used to say, oh man, that's an old man right there. We are those old guys now because we get those dumbass comments like that. Like I told this one kid one day, this was some years back. I'm selling the car, and this youngin comes up and he goes, "Hey man, how much that car?" And I was like, "Yo, it's 2 G's." And he looked at me and he laughed. He goes, "G's? You mean 2 grand?" I was like, "You little motherfucker! I'll smack the shit out you." Yeah, it's 2 fucking grand, bitch. I know you ain't got it. Go the fuck on. You know what I'm saying? It just upset me a little bit. Like, damn it, I am at that age to where these little motherfuckers are gonna call me the old man. I'm an old head now. That's actually cool. Like me and my homie, we'll sit there and talk, and we're talking to these young cats that kick it, and I'm like, we are the old heads. We can actually sit here and tell you what we've been through to help guide you guys because now I understand what they were saying to us. We didn't listen, or we listened enough to where we're not in the same boat they were in, and we're trying to help you guys listen. But that's the shit. Some of you motherfuckers ain't listening.
Well, see, the problem is the way that kids like younger ages than me are getting their information now is that their parents or someone that is their guardian or whoever's trying to give them advice in life is investing themselves into you. They're controlling you. Like, you need to do this, you need to do that.
They're living vicariously through their kids.
Yes, you got to understand that you have to make the mistakes and they have to realize those mistakes.
And see, I had a compliment about my son over the weekend. A buddy of mine said, "Man, you know what? I love your son." He was like, he has the most unique personality out there. He just doesn't give a fuck. He does exactly what the hell he wants to do. I said, "Man, yeah, I encourage it." Like a lot of us, when you become a parent, you push your kid or your child to to the expectations you have. Like, I know my kid is going to be great. Like, I'm going to make sure my child is great. I'm going to push them to do this, But you got to step back and let your child be who they are and see which direction they're going to go in, and encourage whatever they like to do. That way, it's not wasted money or in a sense, like time gone by, because sometimes kids do shit just to make their parents happy.
Well,
You know what I mean?
you have to make your kind of experience on your own. Like I can never
Yeah.
you never truly believe in a religion if you haven't experienced it yourself. You're just hearing stuff based on what someone else is like kind of giving you. I experienced it like when I was a kid. I was wondering what would that light bulb be like if I touched it, and my grandpa was like, "Don't do it. You're gonna burn your fingers. I'm telling you
But
now."
they're just gonna let you do it because when you
I waited
touch it.
for his ass to walk around the corner, and I touched the light
Uh-huh.
bulb and burned my fingers and screamed my head off. And he goes, "What did I tell you?" I'm like, "I had to make it myself." You know?
But you had to know. But that's learning experience. You have to let kids fuck up. Like
Now,
I had to fuck up. I had to go through my dumbass shit that I went through to figure shit out. And you still fuck up as you get older. You're
what type
still gonna fuck up,
what
but you
type
got to
of dumb
learn from it.
shit have you gone through?
Oh shit! When I was younger, I got arrested at 18 for being stupid, basically. Um, had probation on that. Ended up losing my job a couple years after that for going off, like having basically my attitude. It wasn't really my attitude. I just felt disrespected. I don't appreciate being poked. Like when somebody's trying to ask you a question, they poke your shoulder and shit.
Yeah.
That's a real pet peeve of mine. And if I'm arguing with somebody and they put their hands on me, it was just, it's just a fucked up story. But yeah, something happened. I ended up getting fired. Um, I had just moved into a house, but this was all when I was 20, 23, 20, between the ages of 20 to 23, all this shit started happening. I lost my job, uh, lost the house I was in, basically was living on my homegirl's couch and my brother's couch, and fucking some nights I'd fucking just park my shit at the fucking rest area, go to sleep because I didn't want to stay. I didn't want to feel like I was a burden to somebody, but I was trying to get back on my feet. Started getting back on my feet. Uh, Met a woman that I thought was gonna be the best thing under the sun. Ended up getting married. 7 years later down the line, fucking has an affair. Go through a nasty divorce. All my money gone, fucking money blown in court and whatnot. Just down the drain, fighting, and fuck Virginia and the Commonwealth and the judicial
Well,
fucking
the problem
corporation.
is, all right, you want to talk about the judicial system. That is a completely ridiculous job. It's like being the president. I think that if you're going to be a judge, you should only have a total of 7 cases per year. You should not have to judge maybe 70 in a day. Some Judge Judy shit. You have to get both sides of the story, because next thing you wrongly convict somebody of something they shouldn't be convicted for.
Because nobody believes in thorough. See, what it is, it's all set up as it's a systematic system. It's like, all right, look, here's what we have laid out. This is a worksheet we fill out. This meets this. Boom, here's this. Next one, this is this. It fits this, and here's this. Bam. Next one. It's a
Have you
assembly
ever
line.
heard a conversation read out? Like if you read Dave Chappelle's whole comedy sketch or whole comedy special, if you read that on paper, it sounds horrible.
Oh, I bet it does.
And
You
the
know
reason
what?
why
That's
is
interesting.
it's because it's the same thing with voice texting. How many times does someone voice text because it's easier and it gets misunderstood? It's because fucking machines and paper can't invoke emotion unless it is a book or some type of story that is trying to do that the whole length of the book. But you get a quick paragraph text that you start off saying, "Hey, could you do me a favor and could you clean up the house a bit?" Next thing you know, it goes, "Hey, do me a favor, clean up the house. I'll be home in a bit." And it's like your phone misinterpreted it and sent it. Next thing you know, the person's like, "Are you yelling at me and telling me what to do right now?" Like
that you can't take a tone in the text.
Like it's so hard to kind of interpret what you're saying. So like, call me if you're going to call me and talk to me about something. If you get a paragraph text, half the time I'm like just looking for the major words in it, the stuff that's like aggressive. And
like
I'm like,
when you was in school and you see the big bold word, you want to pay attention to that.
Yeah, stuff that was in italics that fucking meant something. It didn't.
Yeah.
Like back in the day when we used to have flip phones, trying to send a text, you knew if someone sent a paragraph, they sat there for hours.
Shit. They had to.
Shit.
They had to, but see, we invented texting, man. We had pagers, man, and payphones, man. You used to send a code in a pager and look, and you had to fucking sit there and figure out what the fuck somebody spelled to you. Oh man, she was a bitch, especially when you had a girl. Oh my god,
I
it
think
was
it's
rough.
I think it's difficult because the way we're kind of progressing as society, I hate to say it, but when it comes to us being comfortable, I think bad experiences are probably our most formative moments because it puts us in a sense of realization only on the concept of what happens if you get into a car accident? What happens when you get severely
Mm-hmm.
hurt? Your brain wakes you up. You get in this
Uh
fight
huh.
flight response. You start to be more aware of your surroundings. And next thing you know, you're basically hyper vigilant. So bad experiences, they show you shit. They show you what happens. And I think experiencing something bad, like you said, it's coming back from that, progressing from that. It's because at the start, your foundation was crap.
Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, exactly. And the whole thing with it is once you go through something, it adds a layer of armor to you. You know what I mean? Like, okay, I took that hit, I took that blow. It hurt, it stung, but you know what? I healed up from it. Got a little scab there, but you know what? It's tougher. I got it now. You see what I'm saying?
It's hard because people hear we all remember the motivational poster that says you miss 100% of the shots you don't take. People
Yeah,
don't take shots because they don't want to get hurt. I'm like, you need to
you
be
have
hurt
to.
to learn
You
from
got
your
to get smacked in the
problems.
face.
Yeah,
You
it
have to.
sucks when your car gets repoed. Yeah, it sucks when
Yes.
you lose a house. Yeah, it sucks when you get
Uh
a
huh.
broken arm or something. That all
Yep.
sucks. But that pain is something that's real. Okay,
That
that's
shit
something
is
you
your
can come back
drive.
from. Yeah,
That's the shit that you gotta get. That's life putting its foot square in your fucking ass and
it's a
saying,
wake up
"Get
call.
up, come on, you was sleeping. Now let's go. Get your feet moving. Let's come on, baby. Let's get it going." You know what I'm saying? That's what you got to do.
Like people need that, and then you see them come back from that. It shows the pure essence of greatness that we all have inside of us. The fact
That's
that
the thing.
you can come
People,
back from something.
and a lot of people are. I think they're more afraid of finding themselves in a sense because when you dive deep in that rabbit hole, man, you find some dark shit in there. You know
Well,
what I'm saying that you ain't dealt with.
people hear somebody say you have potential, you have a great way of thinking, you're going to become something, and then they feel this ever amounting pressure to try and obtain this level of
Uh
greatness,
huh.
and they
Uh
can
huh.
never do it. They can never achieve it. They just choose to be comfortable because they're afraid to fail. They're afraid not to try. Look, you think Steve Jobs created the iPhone and that was immediately what it was? No, it was probably some
Fuck
hunk of
no.
shit that gave you basically radiation poisoning, sticking it up to the side of your head. But he had to learn
No
from
shit.
his mistakes. He had to learn from things of this sort.
And that's the thing. It's like it's the starting over and feel like you said, feeling the hurt, but then the starting over part too. It's like, okay, I'm back. Like with my shit, I ended up back ground zero and I'm coming back and I'm actually doing a lot better than what I was when I was in all of this shit. I'm like, you know what? I'm actually doing better than before. And the only reason I'm doing better than before is because I have the tools and I went through the hurt and the pain and all that shit I went through. And I have the tools now to know what not to fuck with, what to fuck with, and what's gonna work and what's not gonna work.
Sadly, is we choose to be life is just bland because trying is just too damn hard. And I'm like, man, it doesn't take
Trying takes
much.
effort. That's the problem.
It
It's the
doesn't take
effort part.
much. I think we just need change. We need a little bit of Obama promised it, but it was in a different
But see,
scale of view. It was in a more of a, the world's gonna change, this country's gonna change. I'm like, no, we gotta start with
as a,
ourselves.
that's it. As an individual, you have to be the one that's only look. Only you know what's good for you. You know what's gonna work for you. You know what's not gonna work for you. I don't. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know what's gonna be good for Robbie. You know what I'm saying?
I know
At all.
if I eat Taco Bell, I'm gonna be in pain. So I know the cost of what I'm eating afterwards. You gotta take the ins and outs. Like you gotta kind of problem solve, but you have to look at the bigger picture. If I do this right now, what's gonna happen later? Is that gonna hit me
Bam.
up later? Is that gonna you have to understand with every cause there is an effect, but
My
people don't look
uncle
at that effect.
used to my uncle used to tell me this all the time. He says, nephew, I appreciate that you look past your nose. And I was like, the fuck are you talking about, Unc? He said, man, most people can only see their nose, what's right there in front of them. You see past your nose. I'm glad you see past your nose. I'm like, that's some country ass shit, but I fucks with it. You know what I'm saying? I love that shit right there.
The problem is, like, if you look down at your nose, you can't stop really looking at it. But you got to pay attention to the fact that once you like look up again, it's always in your view, but you just
Yeah.
look past it.
You just gotta look a little in front of it. Like, all right, I see where I'm headed to, but damn it, now I am looking at my fucking nose. Thank you.
Like,
I appreciate that.
do you want to lose weight? Okay, then go to the gym. Do you want to lose weight?
Uh-huh.
Eat healthier. Do you want to do, everything chalks up to the physical fitness. I'm like, it doesn't have to be that. It could be any small stride in your life. You want a
Any
better
small
job?
thing.
Start applying places. You want, you want to start doing something with your life, then start doing something you want to do.
Be constructive with something. Oh, hey, you know what? I haven't done this in a long time. Okay, go do whatever it is you haven't done in a long time. Why? Because you feel like it and you want to. Go do it. Who's stopping you? Who's telling you you cannot do this?
You can build a building by cutting corners, but eventually it will fall. You have to build it on something that's strong and correct, something that is
Mm-hmm.
going to last the test of time, something that is going to, be your piece of history, be something you want in this world. But we choose to cut the corners because going the right way is the wrong way of doing it.
It takes too long, too much effort, and people say that I don't have time for that. I need this now, and if I get it now, it's going to be no. That you can't. It's a step by step process. It's little bits by little bits. Like you got to take your time with this. It's a lot of fucking patience with stuff. If you want things to go right, you got to understand it takes time to get there. It takes effort to get there. It just ain't gonna fall in your fucking lap.
Yeah, things don't get handed out to you, even though everybody wants a handout. When I start talking about this, the one song I think of,
What's up?
believe it or not, I'm walking on air.
You feeling good?
We choose to like look over everything, but really because you feel like you're on this cloud nine, this epic life journey. But even though you're not doing anything, you're just you put up a social media post and it got 300 likes. That's your cloud nine. I'm like, no, don't you want to say
Mm-mm,
you
mm-mm.
climbed a fucking mountain or you did some shit? Like, yeah, it
Like
might be
experience some
hard.
shit.
Yeah, but even just having a conversation with you, that's something, it's in my category now. It's something I'm like, I was able to talk with someone that is living a completely different lifestyle than me and hear his thoughts on the world, hear his life journey, hear his, it's amazing that we think the exact same, even though we're completely different people.
Yeah, and it's fucking cool because it's like, you know that you're not the only person that thinks that way. Like I know there's more people out here that's like, hey, how you doing? That's all it really takes. Like, hey, how's it going? Not too bad. I'll say word. Hey, hope you have a good one. You do the same. And then sometimes it's just a conversation that pops out of that. Hey, how's it going? Man, I don't believe this shit today. What's going on, man? Man, I don't even know. My feet hurt like a motherfucker. Oh, word? You should try some Dellins, man. Try those out. You know what I'm saying?
It's restoring faith in people, knowing that we're all able
That's
to
it.
have conversations. We just choose not to.
Because you get the shit face sometimes. You get these little stink faces. If people walk by, you say hi, and they get you like you just shit yourself.
It's
You
why
know what I mean?
it's why half the time I go to self-checkout, because every time I go to an actual checkout, I ask how someone's day's going. They go, "Don't let me talk about my day. Let me tell you, when I woke up, I was like, whoa, I am just trying to buy this one item. That's
To
it."
have a quick little hey, how's it going? That's bad. It's good. Okay, cool. I'm sorry. You know what? You have a blessed day, and I hope it gets better. You know what I'm saying? Maybe that little thing will help you out. But I
Even
don't need to hear the whole rundown.
Yeah, even if, everyone's got issues, everyone's got problems, but the
That
problems
is
are your
true.
own, okay?
Uh huh.
The problems are your roadblocks that you need to get past. Yes, it's okay
Mm-hmm.
to vent when you feel like you're stuck and you need help, but at the same time you have to realize like everyone's got their own burden, everyone's got their own set of things going on in their life. And if you start thinking that people don't have those going on and you're the most important thing, you lose the true aspect of what it means to be relatable. And first of all, what it
Mm-hmm.
means to just have a conversation with someone.
Because you could talk to people and hear their issues just like they hear your issues. And you're like, you know what? Hey, have you ever thought about this? Nah. And then somebody could say the same shit to you. Hey, man, I hear what you're going through. I went through something similar. Uh, how about this? Just something to think about. I'll throw it out there for you. This helped me out. It might help you out. Hey, man, I just appreciate you listening. That's it's more of it's really respect though too, because we've lost a lot of respect for each other when you think about it. People don't really respect each other as as equals.
Well,
You know what I
there's no
mean?
such thing as what is it? There's no such thing as I just knew the word and I forgot it. It
It
was
happens, brother.
it's not just a thing as common courtesy. Why is
Hmm.
that only relatable if you're from the South? You know, you're a cowboy, you have common courtesy, you have manners. No, it's a proper way of acting. It's
You know
about
what? That's
not
funny that you
creating
say
tension.
that because it is more noticeable in the South, the manners, the yes ma'am and no ma'am and shit like that. Because my kids, when I'm out and about with them and people compliment me on, hey, you know, your kids have great manners. I'm like, well, I was brought up this way, and I'm making sure my kids are brought up to respect people and not only themselves but other people. Like you gotta instill this in them. You know what I mean?
Because
Because
simple.
it
Don't be
goes a
an
long way.
asshole.
Yeah, yeah. Don't be a dickhead. Basically, yeah,
You're living a life, they're living a life. If you don't agree with them, then don't associate. You don't need
yeah.
to dive into the whole root of the thing and try and change somebody. Even as people
Oh
randomly
my
bumping
goodness.
into a stranger, we try and invest all of our thoughts into them. I'm like, look, if they ask for it, then go ahead. But
That's the thing. You see, I like that you said that, man. Like people always ask me about. I consider myself a considerate asshole. I'm an asshole when I need to be. You know, when situations arise, you know, sometimes asshole has to be there. But I'm most of the time considerate to individuals. You know what I mean? I understand what everybody's going through.
well,
But
see,
when people ask me,
that's not being a considerate asshole. That's being a realist. You're real.
yeah, thank you. Fucking thank you for saying that, sir, because that's what I people say, oh man, no, you're not, no, you're not. I say that shit all the time. Like I'm a realist. This is that's how I am. Like I'm not negative. I'm more positive, but I look at shit in the real sense of things. Like I know that yes, I'm having a good day. And yes, something fucked up could happen in a day. But if it does, I'll deal with it and keep it fucking moving. Well, man, Mike, that's fucked up because you're saying something's gonna happen in your day. No, what I'm saying is
Be aware of it.
something could happen in the day. I'm just ready in case something does happen. Like I know I'm gonna get through it. You see what I'm saying?
It's all
That's what I'm
about
getting
being
at.
prepared for the worst possible outcome. We should always be.
Exactly.
You know, your parents taught you like if you don't have a job, this is what's going to happen if you don't have money. You know, they wanted you to have that plan B if plan A
Bruh,
didn't work out. But we're
I
gonna
got smacked in the face early on. I mean, my mom told me when I was 9, she said, baby, look, if I'm on my deathbed, you're gonna have to pull the plug. I said, what the fuck kind of shit is this, huh? She said, me and your daddy ain't gonna be around here forever. We're trying to teach you as much as we can as we possibly can before we go. But if I'm on my deathbed, you need to pull the plug. I said, why me? She goes, because you're the one that's gonna be the strongest to be able to do it. You're gonna be able to do it because you see shit differently. Fuck. Damn, my mama knew this early on. And that just stuck in my head as a kid, like, holy hell, how the fuck does she know already? You know what I mean?
wisdom, man. It telling you it becomes more wisdomatic, I would say, through the ages. I mean, the fact that they can give you advice, but you're going to make your own choices. You're going to make your own faults. You're going to, you have to experience it all
Mm-hmm.
yourself. And hopefully, people wake up and realize, yes, that is a thing that can happen. I think more people just need to be aware of when someone's giving you advice, and even for people giving the advice, don't invest your time and try and change this person in a strict way. Realize that
No.
they're going to make the mistakes where they want because they're living their own life. They're living their own journey.
And you know what? That is difficult to do sometimes because you care about people. Like I got homies that I care about all day long, and it's like, man, I'm gonna keep giving you advice, even though you might not be listening, you might not be taking it. But goddamn it, what I'm saying in the long run is I'm here for you whenever you get up off your feet. I'm be right here to kick you in your ass to keep you going. You know what I mean?
It's all about adding that perspective. Sometimes the perspective's needed, and sometimes you have to realize from their perspective that they're going to have to take their choices where they stand.
Exactly, because that's all life really is about is choices. You're either gonna make some good ones, some bad ones, but as long as you're learning from them, I figure you're doing good as long as you're learning from them. It's
Exactly.
when you're standing still is the problem.
Well, you know what, Big Mike? It's been awesome having you on the podcast, man. I love
Yo,
talking
man,
to you.
I appreciate you, Robbie, man. Could I give a shout out to your fans and our fans on the show? And would you mind me giving a shout out to the podcast that I'm on so people can see
Yeah,
where I'm
man, I'm
at
going to
too?
give you a minute here to plug your stuff. I want people to find your content.
Hell yeah. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you ever want to check me out, I listen to the Mason and Friends show. I go by J. Rod Statham on there. Jason Statham's black cousin on his mama's side. You know, y'all don't know about that, but it's real shit. Um, Improv comedy, man. We break with the mundane, 18 to 80, blind, crippling, crazy. Everybody catches hell from us. Check us out, Mason and Friends show.
And that's how you do it.
Yes, sir. I appreciate you, sir. Much love, brother.